Okay, so why do great NBA basketball players need personal trainers and even basketball skills trainers? This is a question that is actually very interesting because you would think players like LeBron James, they're the best player in the world. Why do they need a basketball trainer? Why do they need a personal trainer? Why do they even need a nutritionist? They should know this stuff, right? Well, guess what? They do, and this is why. So the number one reason why anybody needs a basketball trainer, but including NBA players, is because when it comes down to their individual skills and moves, they may want to have basically a third party looking at how they play. Is there any small tweaks that could raise their percentage at least a couple of percentage points higher so that they can maybe score 2 or 5 more points per game or even more? Now let's think of it as yourselves just for a second. And you may be taking a shot and you may be saying, wow, I've got my body perfect, I've got my elbow pointing towards the rim, but I keep on missing right. Why is that? And some people may go and get a camera or a cell phone and record themselves, and they still may not be able to see it, but it may be a small little tweak, as small as your hand width. Basically, a lot of players, may have the most perfect form in the world, and then when they shoot, it goes off towards the right side. The reason in that case is their hand width. They're not spreading their fingers out enough. And in that case, it's coming off the side of their hand, where in reality, if they just widen their hand out a little bit more, they wouldn't have that issue and it would go straight. Small things, small tweaks, basketball skills trainers and personal trainers can help you really explode your game. Pretty well every single NBA player has a personal trainer. Whether it be a basketball skills trainer, a personal trainer who works on weights and body weight exercises and things like that, or even a nutritionist, or all three. Guess what? They all have these 3 things. Now, I'm not saying for you to go out and get a nutritionist. They're really expensive. I'm not saying you need to have a personal trainer and a basketball trainer. Sometimes those 2 things get combined with the same person, as myself. I do personal training as well as basketball skills training. And the reason why you would be hiring a personal trainer, somebody who helps you with weights and exercises to get you stronger, is not just to get you stronger. You can easily just go to the gym, do a couple of squats, do a couple of squat jumps, whatever it may be, some bicep curls. We all know the basics. However, there's a lot of trainers like myself who will go the extra mile and know the specific muscles that you need to work on so that you can be quicker off the first step, quicker off that dribble, quicker defensively. There's a thing called functional training. You work on the muscles that you use, and then all of the extra muscles that you don't use, all the stabilizing muscles, you still work on those so that you can reduce injuries. So when it comes to a personal trainer, there are 3 things that you are essentially looking at. Number 1 is going to be basically to get stronger, to get better in basketball through strength. Maybe so that you can play bully ball like LeBron James. Maybe that you can be a much quicker player and a more stable player like Steph Curry or Michael Jordan. These are things that a personal trainer can do. Number 2 is going to be injury reduction. And injury reduction is super, super important to myself. And that is because I've torn my ACL and I now know myself how to help players to reduce the chances of those same injuries. It's a long process to be able to become a great basketball player, and you learn things along the way. And that's another thing that is really important when it comes to a basketball trainer and a personal trainer is, are they willing to evolve with the sport? Are they willing to evolve with newer knowledge that comes out? Because let's face it, if you're getting a basketball trainer or a personal trainer who is not evolving with the times, who is not looking at the newest research, well then guess what? If he's not putting in the work, that means that he's not going to be having you put in through the work. And because of that, you need to find personal trainers and basketball trainers who are always constantly researching and looking for new ideas and new research. I mention this because us as basketball players, or maybe students who are basketball players, we can't always keep up to track with all new research and things like that, because we have school that is involved with needing to learn math, English, and all the other things. And then as basketball players, maybe when we get older, if you become a professional basketball player, you can't just focus on the research of working out and the research of becoming a great skills player, because guess what? You need to focus on your team's practice plan, game plan. You need to work on a lot of things still, and that can be part of your mindset, but at the same time, you need to have resources. You need to have trainers to be able to feed you that information. And another reason why great basketball players have trainers is because then when it comes to their one-on-one skill sessions or their two-on-one skill sessions, when it comes down to those, what you're looking to do or looking to see in your trainer is for them to run you through a couple of maybe individual skills, maybe some two-ball stuff, whatever it may be. But I personally really like to focus on the game aspect of it. So when it comes down to it, you can do as many single crossovers, double crossovers, things like that. You can do as many of those as you really want. However, what I really like to do with my players is to have myself play defense, give them a couple of defensive situations. Maybe I'm giving them a little bit of space, and I want to have them do different sets of moves, different sets of crossovers, so that they can test it out on different distance defenders, different looks, a straight up, maybe forcing you left, maybe forcing you right, whatever it may be, and have them go through different defensive sets, have them learn the offense. I like to understand my players' offenses. I like to ask them, what plays do you run with your team? Are you running a horns offense? Are you running a 5-out? Are you running a 4-1? What is it? I want to know so that I can help you with your offense at the same time as teaching you skills that you can use inside of that offense. Also, it's always good to have a third party just really look over your skills, and not just to have one singular third party. I've got a few players myself who I train who don't just train with me. They train with myself once a week. Some of them are twice a week. And then they also train with trainers who are out in Oakville, out in Toronto, out in Brantford, and they have multiple trainers because myself, I'm going to be throwing different defensive situations on them. I'm going to be teaching them their offense. I'm going to be teaching them different tactics that they can use to be able to attack on a defender. While a trainer, one of the players that I train with, they train with the trainer out in Oakville who is more on singular skills, being able to shoot off the dribble, being able to do two-ball skills, different ball handling stuff. And then they also train with a trainer out in Toronto who is working more on their shot. So every trainer has a different skill set, and every trainer has a different thesis. I personally like to really work on shooting. Shooting is very important, but I also really want to incorporate different offensive sets and tactics and skills that you can use inside of your own offense to be able to get yourself a shot. I hope that this video has kind of made sense. I know I've rambled on for probably a little over 10 minutes. I hope that you've enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, go check out my website, alsbballtraining.ca. I have a ton of videos on there. I also have a ton of information and, of course, stuff that I do you may be interested in. I hope that you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys again next time.